So hopefully my face doesn't get too washed out while I put my harness here. We just finished up the trail break for Pinch Point, a new trail in Western Colorado. It very well could be the new hardest trail out here in Western Colorado, if not all of Colorado. It is probably less than 1/8 of a mile long. It's right off of Billings Canyon out here, just south of Grand Junction, Colorado. I'll flip the camera around and show you guys that just in a second. But it is wild. You start the trail and you're immediately into it. Had 5 rear steer buggies attempt it today. 4 made it through. 1 broke a CV and ended up in the Pinch Point crack, which I'm sure you'll see some video of. But that was awesome. Nothing a full body rig can do right now, at least. Not without some severe damage in rear steer. There's about 3 major obstacles that are all rear steer buggy obstacles. You get in there and it is a pinch point. Everybody drug their cages. We had 1 break of the 5 buggies that attempted. 4 of them made it all the way through the trail. And then you keep going. It doesn't get any easier. You get up to about a 15-foot waterfall. Flip yourself around and come all the way back down the rim and down one of the steepest declines on loose sand I've probably ever seen. So it is wild.
Chassis built by Jeff McKinley out of Idaho Falls. Portal, 8-inch portal housings. Jesse Haynes portals. Spider tracks axles.
Nice job.
Thank you. We run a 3.9, the 904 trans, and the Dana 300 in it. Really lightweight and nimble. 42-inch heads. JM rigging, winch lines, all the way through it. He's one of our sponsors. I won't put anything but his equipment on my car for recovery equipment, but yeah, the car's great. Instagram at Tatanka79. BMB Racing, we compete in We Rock. We also do the Trailbreaker stuff with Trail Hero. We'll be in San Hollow for Trailbreaker, and then we'll also be in Japan for that one as well.
We have a couple minutes while we're waiting on straps and things to get that buggy flipped back on its wheels or pulled back out. Sounds like he broke a CV, so he's down for the count until he can get that replaced. Not sure how we're gonna get him backwards out of there, but I'm sure I'll get some video of it and show you guys that. But while we're waiting for that, I think Rory Trailmater ran down to go get some straps so we can try to figure some stuff out. Figured I'd go over some of the other rigs that are waiting down here for their shot at Pinch Point. Definitely deserving of its name. The trail sign right there. It is wicked. The first guy made it through relatively easily, hooked up his cage a little bit, rear shit around it, and took a wild line, which I'm sure you already saw. But yeah, we'll go through some of these other rigs and see what happens with this other one that's stuck. Trying a different line now.
Start your timer, Jeff.
Almost 5 minutes, somebody said.
There you go. Look at the crab walking.
John Mad Cow Hemble here up at Pinch Point Trail, brand new trail just out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Up here in my Jesse Haynes Fabrication 2019 comp buggy, originally built by Jeff McKinley for the 2019 season. He won almost everything in this car, so it's a super stable, super capable car. I've tweaked it to my own specs, swapped out the turbo for a supercharger, so it's a little 1.4 Ecotech, little 4-cylinder gutless thing, but now with the supercharger on there, I can actually access the 3 or 4 squirrels that it has, so it's a lot of fun. Can jump up a hill if it needs to, but super capable car, lots of travel at all 4 corners. 14-inch Fox shocks in the front, 16-inch air shocks in the rear, same thing. Suck down winches front and rear. They're not recovery winches, they are suspension winches only. You know, portal axles, so tons and tons of clearance under the diff. Great little car. If you're in the pro series of rock crawling, this is pretty much what everybody drives, is something very, very similar. There's some updated versions of this, but so far this one's pretty much keeping up with all the big boys. Only been in competition a couple years, so it's been fun. Stuff like this that we're doing this weekend, breaking a new trail, is what I love to do. I'm from Colorado, been wheeling boulder trails pretty much all my adult life, so this is old home week for me. I'm loving it. The pinch point, in order to get through there, you really have to climb the right side and crab across, and it feels a little unnerving. It feels like you're gonna fall into the crack, and after seeing my buddy Matt fall in and be upside down in there, it was like, well, I don't want to do that, so let's avoid that and just drive through it. And I drove my plan. That's exactly what I planned to do, is what I did. It worked. So I'm really happy about it. So on Instagram, MadCow246 or MadCow Racing 13, either way. And then on Facebook, John MadCow Hemble.
The sun's gonna be behind me as I walk, so it might flare out a little bit, but we are walking back towards the start of the trail. Just left those waterfalls. You take a left at the top and work your way along this fence line, all protected land. Across the top here, not very thing. Down there's the trail. You might see some people walking. But so we were walking back across this ridge all the way back. I see a crowd gathering down there, so we may be close to where they drop back into the trail. Sounds like they drop right back in before that pinch point where they start. And from what I heard from some people, it is quite the drop. So we're getting over here, and we're probably a good 60, 70 feet above everybody else. And we got, looks like Trailmater down there trying the pinch point with his drag axle, YJ, I believe it was, YJ, yeah. He's trying it, that is. So all right, we'll stop right here and look at that real quickly, see what we can see. I don't know if you can see him down there, looking for it. Maybe if I turn this way. Anyway, he's trying, we'll see if we can get down there. But just want to talk about this trail a little bit. So this trail was opened by the Grand Mesa Jeep Club today. This is the first run on it. For those of you that don't know how trail breakers work, they are the opening of a new trail, and it's pretty rare that you get brand new trails on public lands. It's a big fight. It's actually usually the opposite. Usually we're losing trails on public lands, and Grand Mesa Jeep Club, my local club here in Grand Junction, Colorado, does a really great job about not only maintaining and keeping trails open, but also opening new trails and pushing for this. This is the second trail in 3 years, which is amazing. Now these two are buggy trails, but that's because they're so new and so uncut that you're in it when you're in it. Looks like we've come back up to the drop down here, and don't see any more buggies except for the one that's rolling up behind me. So I'm gonna watch him go down, but hope to throw in an interview here in a little bit with Jeff Bates, talking a little bit more about this trail and what the process looks like to get it all going and what the Jeep Club does. But this has been one hell of an experience so far, and it's not over yet.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bates from the Grand Mesa Jeep Club here in western Colorado, and we just finished opening up Pinch Point, the newest hardcore trail in western Colorado, and probably the hardest trail in Colorado. So I started on that trail about 10 years ago. I hiked it and it was impossible, and so I didn't pursue it. 5 years later I looked at it and said it was doable, and approached the BLM and worked on it for 5 years and got it open. That's about my average, six or so years per trail. And so far we've opened 4 different trails here on the western slope. This Pinch Point is the newest and probably the hardest, maybe the hardest I've ever been open. So anyway, it was great to have everybody out here today, and I really appreciate everybody who came.
So we've made it to what may actually be the hardest obstacle on the trail. Cutting back out of the trail, up there above me, to straight down there. So this is steep. So we're gonna see what happens. No way I'd drive it. Video does not do how steep this is justice. See, his rear end is fully unloaded. Well, as much as his suck down will let him. Oh, he's not even sucking down in the rear. Yeah, so he's fully unloaded in the rear, sliding his way down this exit of this trail. I'm gonna keep working my way down there now that they are done. Show you what we're dealing with. So we made it to the exit of Pinch Point. There's the starting sign again. And just to put into perspective, you can see a couple people up there, but that's where you come down to exit the trail. How did that feel?
Like shit.